If you have any questions, Allah can. تفضل.
The arkan that we learned, Shaykh, in the beginning of this class, the sequence that you narrated us to them, is that the sequence of importance or it does not matter?
Which one?
The arkan of the Sahih of Qira'at.
No, it doesn't matter. They are just arkan. They don't come in a sequence. The arkan has to be there. It doesn't matter which one you want to look first. You want to look to the isnad first, then see if it agrees with Arabic linguistics, then the mushaf. Fine. If you want to see if it agrees with the mushaf, but the three has to be there. Which one you start with?
They are equal footing.
Yeah, equal footing. And the قراءة الشاذة not necessarily agreeing with the mushaf.
Okay.
يعني it does not agree with the rasm of the mushaf in certain. That's why we call it قراءة شاذة. يعني. It doesn't mean that it does not have a strong chain. It doesn't have. No, it does. It agrees with the Arabic and all of that. Huh?
Even now there are chains that are surviving.
Yeah, the chains are surviving.
That means people are still
Yeah,
learning.
there are chains for the 50 قراءة, for the 200 قراءة. There are chains, but as I said, this three is not there. And again, يعني, we're not going to get in the depth why and this and that, but it's
just out of curiosity.
I know it's a science that actually raises your curiosity, but once you subhanallah delve in it, you become humbled, really you do, and then you see the importance of it, and then you see how huge is the task and how small you are. And then you start taking step by step, You don't want to overwhelm yourself with something bigger than you at once.
Now, these three pillars which Salman was talking about, are these Shaykh Walid is the one who put them, or?
لا, they agreed among people. He just mentioning them, Yeah, those arkan qira'a. It's not his arkan. No. It's arkan of that all the ulama agreed on.
Shaykh, I've had an incident in my life in which I witnessed something rather odd, so I want to ask you about that.
تفضل.
A few years ago, in a masjid, one of the people who were famous, mashallah, for the Qira'at, they were reciting the different Qira'at, and they were, for the sake of generating curiosity amongst people, and also to show the variation in Qira'at. After the session was over, the first question that was asked, believe it or not, by someone who was studying Sharia masters from Al-Azhar at that time, the first question they asked the Shaykh, the Qari, was, what's the purpose of these variations? Why introducing people to this? This will only cause division or confusion amongst people. So my question, Shaykh, is at what stage should we even describe the variation, not in Qira'at in the sense, the tiny differences that we studied today, the wordings that are mentioned in the Qira'at. For example, min tahtiha versus tahta directly. Okay. Because is there a possibility, and I do believe there is one, that this might cause doubt in the people's hearts.
Well, as I mentioned last time, there are a few things in your question. One is the differences of qira'ah, and then riwayah, and then there is a tariq. For those are variations, right? There are variation on the level of qira'ah, major variation. The difference between Nafi', Ibn Kathir, Abu Ja'far, there's difference qira'ah. Now each of those qira'ah have two narrators. So you are reciting Nafi', I am reciting Abu Ja'far. Then you're reciting Nafi' according to by Qalun, and I'm reciting Abu Ja'far by Ibn Wardan. So there is two differences now. The difference of Qira'ah and the difference of Ruwayah. Yani two people reciting Abu Ja'far, but each one reciting a different Ruwayah. Okay? Two people reciting Nafi', but they're reciting two different Ruwayah. Now someone reciting Qalun in that way, Shatibiyah, someone reciting as Tayyibah. And then someone reciting from Tayyibah from that, and this. So this is one variation. This is what variation means. The second thing is when to do that and how to do that. The third is it important to do this or it's not important to do that? Now I start with the last one first. It is relative. No one can say it's not important, like what that question implied, like you said. He's asking him what is the benefit of that. He is implying no benefit of that. Sometimes when a person asks a question, he's actually making a statement. He's not asking you for knowledge, especially given that he is a graduate of Sharia. So when he says, what is the benefit of doing all of this? That means he said, I don't see a benefit doing that. So the person who answers, the person who answers should know how to handle this. So now we cannot say it is significant at all times, which should be done, and we cannot say it's abandoned. Both are wrong. But it is muqtada al-hal. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you give people according to their way. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, teach people according to what they might comprehend. You want Allah and His Rasul to be opposed? Oh, this is not Quran, this is not, you don't want that. So, how to do that is to see the environment around you. Example, in Houston, for example, what if I go anywhere, they know that I know Qira'at. So people expect, even if they don't know, that I might read something. That's a ground for me right there. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to build on it all the time either. Right? So some places I go and I say, inshallah, I'm going to recite in a different recitation, and inshallah I'll explain to you after. Some places I just do it. Okay? And people will know. In my masjid, khalas. People know already. They already know. And even one of them can tell you, oh, that's that Qira'ah. He doesn't study, but he knows. He heard it many times. So it depends. You have to have that wisdom. But nobody can say there is no benefit. Who said there's no benefit to hear? There is a benefit. Otherwise, it would not be preserved. It would not be people finishing their life studying this. It's an honor to recite in a way that Rasulullah used to recite, but not everyone is aware of it. Imagine that you become the reason to revive this and bring it out, and more people recite with it. This is an amazing reward. So there is no benefit. But at the same time, there can be harm with ignorance. With the general lay people, it becomes harmful sometimes. And I mentioned to you the story of Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, when he was asked that question, and he said that the Imam should know the people, if he's among Tullab al-Ilm, if he's among people who are knowledgeable, who know that there is some variation of Quran. Egyptians مثلا, in general, they know Abdul Basit يقرأ different قراءة, this one different قراءة, they kind of know. But even in Egypt, sometimes if you go and recite it in the Salah, people don't get it. They think that this is for the general gatherings. Only Abdul Basit can do it, but not you. So you have to understand the mentality. Maybe he can do it, but not you. Maybe it can be done out of Salah, but not in Salah. But there's another level of ignorance as well. Some people don't even know about that. Some people I sit with, they cannot comprehend that في من تحتها وتحتها. What you talking about? There's two Quran now?
Exactly.
There are two Quran now? What you mean, كثيرة وكبيرة. فإن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا فتثبتوا. There's two different Quran now? So it's very hard to explain. So avoid that. In this session, you avoid getting into the different Qira'at. Alright? So but it's from that perspective, it's a relative issue. You have to see whom you are with. And I think, and I believe, the brother who corrected has a point, and the brother who made has a point. So they both should understand each other. But none of them can say is wrong. The perspective he's coming from, to teach people different things. But the niyyah to attract people's curiosity is not a good niyyah, in my opinion, right? Your niyyah has to be to teach them something and to make them value it. And you have to choose the right time and the right way. And I would, if I'm in the masjid, I would give khatira before I do.
So that
Not that night. I will not even say the qira'ah at night, but I will mention something. And then maybe my next visit, I'm going to demonstrate. Right? So it has to happen. And mashallah, we have YouTube now, we have this, and I hope this kind of book becomes like an introduction for people to know and appreciate more. So whenever they hear a different qira'ah, they kind of understand, Yeah.
The problem with ignorant people is sometimes they believe that this Qira'at is that you have to make it out, the sahih of the Quran, That's the problem, when you add words or something like that, they're so ignorant that...
I'm not adding words.
Yeah,
we are saying that
them,
when the Quran was revealed, Allah showed Rasulullah ﷺ to recite it in different, various ways. Any way you recite with is correct, as long as you are not mixing and matching and doing things. You will know what you're doing, right? So Rasulullah ﷺ recited, he taught Umar ibn Khattab that way, he taught Abu Bakr that way, he taught Uthman that way, and each one of them taught, and that's how it branched off. But this is Quran. يعني when you see a print of Quran according to Warsh and a print of Quran according to Hafs and one letter here and is not there, it doesn't mean that there are two different Quran. It is the same Quran, but it is recited in different. That is the part that you need to emphasize for people to understand. يعني for you, and I remember a very funny story. One of the Shaykh, Algerian Shaykh, mentioned to me like 10 years ago. He said his uncle went to Hajj all the time, and when you are leaving, they give you mushaf. All the time, he said, and he went when they started distributing King Fahd mushaf, you know that. So when you're leaving, they give you mushaf. So he said, took the mushaf, and he went to there, and he said, wake up in the morning. His son, his cousin, yani, telling his father, what are you doing? He found him sitting with a pen, and he's correcting the mushaf. Right? So he's telling him, what are you doing? He said, يا ابني ده المصحف اللي السعودية بعتوه لي كله غلط فيه غلط. It's all have mistakes, typos, and I need to fix it and send it to them to fix the thing. فقال له يا أبي هذا حفص. قال له إيش حفص هذا؟ يعني people as ignorant of حفص as many people who recite حفص ignorant of there is another قراءة. But the point I'm trying to emphasize here is what environment you are in. You think that you're the right one, and you are not perceptive to any other difference, and this is where the problem is. That needs to change. And you say, oh, people with doubt and all that.
Yeah.
So because of that doubt, I should avoid, will not speak about Qira'at. Khalas, we close it, right? Then nobody will have that, and that doubt will stay there. But guess what? It's going to happen one day, and somebody will. So better to handle it properly instead of ignoring it. Both ways are having their issues. Yeah. So I'd rather do it with hikmah and in a nice way to teach the people than to just avoid it because you don't want them to. No. And also we focus on the younger generation. Younger generation, so the next generation you don't have that problem. And alhamdulillah, I think now with the media, with YouTube, with the websites, there are different websites that have the 10 qira'at, click here, Surah Al-Mulk this one, Surah Al-Mulk that one, they can see the difference, and it's nice.
Especially also with immigrant communities, having people from, many backgrounds and many,
As I said, you raise the standard, you will change the environment. You raise the standard, you will change. People, as I said, they were reciting Quran without tajweed or anything like that. And if anybody recites tajweed, why he's reading too slow? Why he's stretching that much? You're right, but you're the wrong in their eyes. Until the standard raises, then everybody, that's how the Imam of the Haram hears. Okay, that's the rule. Now we are doing different qira'at. It will take years, but there will be a year that comes that, okay, he must be reciting according to one of the qira'at. No problem.
We'll get there.
Then later on, people become familiar. Their ear become familiar with distinguishing the different qira'at. Then, ulama of qira'at everywhere. We hope, inshallah, that becomes fun.
Shaykh, the sequence that we will learn in the biographies of Qur'an, I've seen the sequence 100% replicated in every single book of Qira'ah, or any topic of Qira'ah. Has to be Nafi, and not just Nafi. Has to be Qalun, Warsh, and then Ibn Kathir, and then...
Imam al-Shatibi is the one who started that.
Okay, so it's
a choice of Imam al-Shatibi. لأن الشاطبية, the poem, is the reference for the qira'at. So they go by it, خلاص. We are not going to change anything because all the poem is arranged that way. It's according to his ijtihad. He found that this is the way he arranges things. So he did Nafi' first, Ibn Kathir, not necessarily chronological order.
Not based on the ages.
No. Okay. Nafi', Ibn Kathir, Abu Amr, and Ibn Amir, and then you have Asim, then you have Hamza and Al-Kisai al-Hamza. And then the other three, Imam al-Jazari added, Abu Ja'far, then Yaqub, then Khalaf al-Ashir. Okay. So that's how they add each one, according to some criteria that they have. The mastery, how many shuyukh they have, like this and that. So they arranged it.
But the rest of them must have agreed on that sequence to learn when learning.
Yeah, and also there is another reason for the sequence as well, was more poetic rules. He has to go according to a certain rhyme. So he has to put also symbols, like how Imam Shatibi did Shatibi. That was a miracle of its own, يعني. And it's the first of its kind as well. That how the poem becomes the rule, like he will say, according to the alphabetical orders. Like, you know, there is Abjad, Hawas, Hutti, Kalamun, that one. So there is another one of the Western, Moroccan, you know, Andalus. So the Mashriq, they used to say Abjad, Hawaz, Hutti, Kalamun, Sa'fus, Qarshat, like that. So Alif, Ba, Jim, Dal is not Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha. So there is Al-Abjadiyya.
Okay.
Yeah, Alif, Ba, Jim, Dal. And each one has a component. So they said Alif is 1, Ba is 2, Jim is 3. Then after 10 becomes 20, 30, 40, 50, then 100, 200, 300, like that. That's how they calculate the numbers at the end,
Okay.
the words, right? So that's how the Mashriq, the East, يعني الكوفة all of that, that's how they said Alif, Ba, Jim, and Dal. But the people in Andalus and Morocco, North Africa, and all that, they said Abaj, Dahaz, Hutti, Kalam, يعني not Abjad, Hawaz. Abaj, but Dahaz, the waw is not there. The waw is going to have another property at the end. So Imam Shatibi goes by this. So he goes like this. He will say Abaj, Alif Ba Jim together as a word, is the symbol for Imam Nafi'. Right? So whenever he says this ayah and he put the word Abaj, means Imam Nafi' recited like this. He doesn't have to mention Nafi'. طيب. If he put the Hamza only at the beginning of the key word in the verse, right? So that means it will have Imam Nafi'. Ba is like Qalun and Jim is like Warsh. Right? Dahaz, Dal like Ibn Kathir, and Dahaz like this, and Dazal like that, right? Type. What if Nafi' and Ibn Kathir, they both agree? You have a symbol for them.
Okay.
What if Abu Amr and Ibn Kathir agree? Another symbol. What if the three agree? There is a third symbol. So he had a list of symbols. If the Rawi alone, that would be his symbol. If the two Rawi of the same Qari, that would be the symbol. If one Rawi from here was that Qari from there, that's the symbol. Like Suhba. If you say Suhba, that means, you know, Hamza al-Kisai, Shu'ba an Asim. Right? But if he says Ashab, means Asim al-Kisai Hamza. You see? So if you say the word Ashab, means all the Kufis.
Okay.
But if he says Suhba, means except Hafs.
Okay.
So he made the symbols like this. Now after he made the symbols like this, then he goes by the usul of each one. This one recite like this, they agree on that, they differ on that. And then he goes Surah Al-Fatiha, Al-Baqarah, like that. So he will say Fatiha, وَمَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ رَاوِيهِ نَاصِرُ وَمَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. So that's a qira'ah now. مَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. He said رَاوِيهِ نَاصِرُ. These two keywords in the verse of poetry here. The word rawihi means the narrator. Nasir, nobody is named Nasir here, right? But you take the ra from the rawihi and the noon from Nasiri. The ra here is the symbol of who?
Warsh?
Al-Kisai.
Exactly.
Rasat, Al-Kisai. Nasiru, noon, Asim. So who recites Maliki Yawmiddin among the seven? Kisai.
And Asim.
And the rest say Maliki Yawmiddin. So now you know the rule. Now you see how Imam Shatibi did his poem? It's amazing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's very mathematical. So you read the whole almost 1400 lines
And you can remember.
and you can remember 87 qira'at like this. So you will remember each one, who recites what, and by exclusion you will know. Like he said, who recites Maliki only. So the rest said Maliki because he assumed that you know that. You know that the two, right? So, and he mentioned this. So that's what Imam Shatibi, he arranged them in that way so things can stabilize for him, like how he mentioned that.
That's amazing. Do people memorize the poem?
طبعا. To do the 7 qira'at you have to say the Shatibiyya. Then to do the other 3 you have to do the Durra. And then if you want the Ashra al-Kubra you just say الطيبة. طبعا there are 2 methods. The old method, which is very tough, that the Shaykh makes you memorize it first. And you have to say it to him from memory. Then you read the qira'at according. So you read 7. First they make you read Hafs مثلا. Then you know Asim. Then you know you read the 7. then you read the 3, then you read the 10 together. So that's the common way. So they used to make you read the Shatibiyya, then you do the 7. Then you read the Durra, then you do the 3. That's كده. Now you did the 10 الصغرى, right? Then you do 10 الكبرى, you have to do الطيبة for Imam Ibn al-Jazari. Yeah. But many shuyukh, they have an easy way. They said you don't have to memorize the whole thing first, but while you are reciting the Quran, you have at least to know the usul first. There is a section for usul. The Shatibiyya, for example, about 300 lines. You know the usul of the 7 qira'at. Alright? So you say to the Shaykh first, usul. Then after that, every time you can recite one rubu' for him, you read 3 lines or 5 lines. So you actually said the whole thing from your memory, but you did not say it together. Yeah. But you know. So that's easier, to make it easier for you. And with the it was necessary until 50, 60 years ago. It was necessary to memorize the Shatibiyya to master the 7 qira'at, and to memorize the Durra to master the 3, and memorize the Tayyib to master the whole 10 qira'at. It was necessary, and there's no way around it. Until some Shaykh like Shaykh Abdul Fattah al-Qadi rahimahullah, he made a book extracting the differences. So he goes to the rubu', and he said in this rubu' the usul is these do this, these do that, so you can prepare from it without memorizing Shatibiyya to start with.
Okay.
Durra, yani.
But how would a person memorize if he follows that book, that order? Shaykh Abdul Fattah's order?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, but the setback of it, that when you stand there, you need to prepare always. And it depends how good you are in practicing it. But knowing a Shatibiyya, it helps you on the spot. Read this according to Hamza, you will do it. Read this according to Amr, you will do it. Because you know, right? But according to preparing from the book and saying Hafs said like this, but Hamza did that. Then you memorize the differences. But sometimes you don't know who's who and how you put the things together. So memorizing the matn is essential in that sense. Huh?
Otherwise you're going to mix them up,
Yeah. No. والله أعلم. جزاكم الله خيرا وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.